So it's been 125 hours, or a little over 5 days, since I first got my hands on the Galaxy S25 Ultra, Samsung's newest version of their best-selling flagship phone. In this video, I want to share with you some of the new experiences I've had with this S25 Ultra after close to a week of personal use, show you what has changed from the very popular S24 Ultra, both good and bad, and lastly share some insight on whether or not the S25 Ultra is worthy for you to consider given its ultra-high price tag. In exchange for the price you end up paying, you are getting a newly designed and physically refined S25 Ultra with a noticeably lighter weight, rounded corners, flat sides, which is a first for the Ultras, and slimmer bezels, which overall makes this feel like it is as compact of a phone you could possibly have with a 6.9-inch screen. In my first few days of use, I've noticed and appreciated the physical changes made to this phone, and it's my favorite feeling Ultra since the S21 series, with this return to a more rounded out design. And the nice feel in the hand is complemented by a smooth and seamless software experience so far in my first few days with the new One UI 7 packed into this phone. The best way to describe it is it feels as smooth as it does on my iPhones, whether you like that or not. Now, in addition to the noticeable changes on the outside, the same can be said for the internal changes made to this phone, with it being powered by the new Snapdragon 8 Elite processor, known for its battery efficiency and additional performance. So first, taking a look at some battery metrics after my first 5 days, I can confirm that I'm getting 1 additional hour of screen time over last year's Ultra in both my heavy and light use cases. For my first battery cycle, pushing the phone more heavily, I got nearly 8.5 hours of screen on time in a 24-hour period, and in my second and third battery cycles, which were lighter use cases, I had 1 cycle of 8 hours and 45 minutes screen on time, and another with 9 hours 45 minutes screen on time, each over the course of 2 days. And overall, I could definitely tell when watching YouTube videos and referencing my spreadsheets that the battery was barely draining at all. And while these aren't revolutionary differences from what we've seen in the past couple years, I am still impressed to see an hour of extra screen time on this device considering the battery capacity has remained unchanged. And it's nice to get this extra battery life in addition to pushing out additional performance, which I was able to notice in my initial gaming tests, primarily on Super Mario Strikers running on Dolphin Emulator, as this is a fast-paced game that requires smooth performance for an enjoyable experience, and after playing this game on countless mobile devices in the past, I can confirm this 8 Elite paired with the new Adreno 830 GPU is giving me excellent performance in my emulated games with noticeably smoother gameplay compared to a lot of my older gen Snapdragon powered phones. And even if you don't play or do anything super demanding on your phone, I love having the embedded S Pen for playing some of my games that require precise inputs like old school RuneScape and Stardew Valley. And now that we're on the topic, it's time to address the beloved S Pen, as a lot of people are upset that Samsung removed the Bluetooth functionality from the S25's S Pen, which has been around since the Galaxy Note 9. So you can no longer use the S Pen remotely for snapping photos, flipping around the camera, clicking through presentations, some of these unique use cases to the Ultra compared to any other flagship out there on the market. So comment sections everywhere are flooded on this debatable decision, in addition to spreading misinformation, because after reaching out to Samsung myself for some clarification on this, I can confirm, at least from this email I received, there is not going to be any Bluetooth S Pen available at all for this S25 series as a separate purchase, and they're going to be correcting any misleading statements from their website that they've made up to this point. So overall, while disappointing and unfortunate, I personally still enjoy the S Pen for its on-screen usage, such as hovering over certain things to interact with them, like stock prices on Google or enlarging images in your gallery, quickly jotting down notes at the press of a button and double tap on your screen at any time, and as I showed before, for playing games and editing photos and videos with some of the new Galaxy AI features, which I'm actually excited to share with you a couple of AI features I found to be genuinely useful after we take a look at the cameras. While on the whole, this very versatile camera setup hasn't changed a lot, we still have a noteworthy amount of versatility here with a new 2x zoom option in the viewfinder with what Samsung is calling optical quality, in addition to the actual optical lenses at 3x and 5x, and then the optical quality again at 10x, and the now par for the course 30x and 100 100 times zoom options. The 200 megapixel mode has provided excellent looking results in my initial photos with lots of detail retained when zooming in on subjects. And the ultra wide lens now has a 50 megapixel option for the first time, which definitely has more clarity and pixel density compared to the 12 megapixel. Now, as far as the rest of the changes for this phone, as we are reaching a point in time when smartphones are peaking and physical changes continue to lessen, Samsung is working hard to push Galaxy AI features every product launch, and it's no different here with the S25 Ultra. Starting with the new audio eraser, which works surprisingly well. I have an example here of talking in front of a running trash truck, so have a listen for yourself of the before and after using this new feature.
So doing a quick video test here, I have a trash truck behind me running on idle, so I just wanted to see the audio reduction in the background that they just showed in the presentation.
So you can definitely hear the trash truck in this video. So I can go up to noise here. I can reduce the noise to minus 100. There was also some wind in this video, so I can just go ahead, reduce that to minus 100 as well.
So doing a quick video test here, I have a trash truck behind me running on idle, so I just wanted to see the audio reduction in the background that they just showed in the presentation. This is what you can expect if you have some loud background noise behind you and want to film something. This is what you can expect for the sound quality.
It is very easy and seamless to press the AI button on your gallery and either hit the autocorrect button, which appears to remove 90% of background noise by default, but you can manually adjust all of your sound sources from any video to make them louder or not heard at all, like I just showed you. And the call logs feature is also an interesting one to me initially, as you can easily record your calls and have a chat log to reference later if needed. So when you're on a call, there's this small button you can press to start logging it. The other person will be notified of this, mind you.
This call is being recorded.
You'll see a recording icon at the top of your screen, and after your call is done, you can go back and reference everything, which is a really nice feature. This is just a couple of the many AI features coming to this phone, but being able to benefit from some of these things as a person who isn't heavily into AI usage at the time of this video tells me that some of these things in the long run won't all be gimmicks, and rather things that actually help people get more out of their expensive smartphones. But all things considered, 125 hours so far with this S25 Ultra. For me personally, there's a lot of good things going on here with this phone, even if the sentiments about it right now online are pretty critical considering the lack of year-over-year changes from the S24 Ultra and the S Pen controversy. The physical refinements made here are noticeable for me, making this massive phone feel a lot more comfortable in the hand, along with seemingly as smooth as you can get software and performance, which have made this feel like it is in peak smartphone territory, despite not having the highest specs in every category, such as slower charging speeds and a smaller battery capacity compared to other flagship phones on the market currently. But in my personal experience so far, in 5 days and 3 battery cycles of use, I can comfortably recommend this device to anyone using an S22 Ultra or older, since you will definitely notice the battery and camera improvements made here. But I'll be curious to hear your thoughts on the S25 Ultra in the comments below. Be sure to leave a like on your way out, and keep an eye on the channel for my official case lineup video on this S25 Ultra and content on the smaller S25 and S25 Plus coming later this week. Take care.